I'm gonna start with these brows. Now I'm gonna do my brows exactly how I did them in Vegas for the benefit launch. If you guys follow me on Snapchat or if you guys are on Instagram, of course, you will see that they had a huge brow launch in Vegas. And when I did my brows there and used the products for the first time, these are the steps that I used for my brows on that day, and I really liked them. So I'm going to use those same things today, but I'm sure there will be days where I just use a pencil or just use the KaBrow, but today I'm going to use both. So here's a closey. Got this brow done. This brow is struggling, as you can see. So anyways, I'm going to start by using their conditioning primer called BrowVo. I never thought I would use a brow primer before. I'm like, why do you need a brow primer? But if you think about it, you use a primer with everything. You use a primer underneath your makeup, underneath your eyeshadow, your lipsticks. So, I mean, since you're putting layers on your brows, a primer does kind of make sense if you think about it. Anyways, it looks like this. Give it a twist and some primer comes out the top. I don't know if you guys can see that. But I'm just going to brush that into my brows first. This is totally optional, of course, but there are a lot of nutrients in it which never hurt nobody, and they're supposed to make your eyebrows look fuller. Next, I'm going to move on to outlining my brows with their Precisely My Brow pencil. Every time I use a pencil, I usually always start a little bit behind the front of the brow because I don't like this part too heavy. So I'm going to do that right now and kind of trace out the natural shape of my brow. Once I have that traced out, I'm going to fill in the little sparse areas right here by like making little hair-like strokes. Now I'm going to use this spoolie to brush them out. Next, I'm using KaBrow. This was my favorite of the new releases. It is a gel pomade, so you can use this by itself or along with a pencil. I decided to use it with the pencil today because I didn't want my eyebrows to be so dark, and sometimes using the brow pomades alone, you get a more of a nighttime darker brow. But I'm going to use this to fill in the rest of my brows. And what I love about this is it has this bomb brush that's built into the top. You just flip it over on this side, you know, unscrew, you got your product right here and your little brush right here. Bomb! So I'm just going to swipe a little bit on the brush and fill in them gaps. If you have thicker brows or your brows have a lot of hair, sometimes it helps to brush the brows downwards so that you can get any gaps that you may have missed. Now I'm going to clean my brows, which is my favorite part. I'm actually going to use the same brush because, like I said, I used this when I first applied this stuff in Vegas, and this brush actually helped me clean my brows much more cleaner than my MAC 195 brush because it's a little fatter, you know. This one's a little more precise, you know. So I'm just going to turn this upside down so it doesn't dry out while I'm doing that. And I'm going to use my MAC Studio Fix Concealer. If you're going to use a brush this small to clean around your brows, you want to make sure your concealer isn't hella light, because as you can see, it kind of almost made a pencil-like line. And if I was to use something really lighter than that, it would be hard to blend it into my skin tone to make it look like I didn't like outline my brow in chalk. So try to make sure that it's a flesh tone concealer, or just use a bigger brush and blend as you would normally. Okay, next step, I'm going to use the 3D Brow Tones. This is yet another product I thought I'd never use. It is a highlighter for your brows, like for your actual brow hairs, like a highlighter. But I just decided to go ahead and give it a try in Vegas, and I was like, wait a minute. So it gives you like these little reflects of gold in your brows. Only need a little bit of this, especially if your hairs are really dark, because it has like a light brown goldish tone to it. So I only used a little bit in Vegas, and at first when I put it on I couldn't really see it, so I'm like, okay, what is this supposed to do? And then later that night when I was getting ready and I was taking pictures, I was like, is that sparkle gold? So I ended up liking it, and I've been using it ever since. Just need a little bit. Light hand with this, people. Last but not least, I'm going to use Ready Set Brow, which is a 24-hour brow setting gel. And this is what I love about Benefit products. You can tell, like you can tell that their products aren't mass produced. They literally put time into every piece of their product. They start from the bottom, like literally formulate everything and come out with something bomb. So the brush, normally with brow gels, it looks like a typical spoolie. But this one, they have short spokes and long spokes for you to get your short and long hairs. And if you turn it sideways, it almost looks flat to help you kind of shape out your brows. Like, it's just bomb. Like, they put thought into everything, and I totally respect that. I'm going to use the side with the longer spokes for the front of my brow. Brushing them up. Shorter spokes for the end of my brow. And then I'm going to turn it flat to make sure no hairs are sticking up. So this is what they look like. Done, girl. Now it's time to snatch this face. So I'm going to spray my face first, as I do normally. Urban Decay All Nighter. I sprayed my beauty blender too, and I'm going to use my MAC Studio Fix Fluid. You know the deal. This is my fave still. Now for my concealer, Porefessional using MAC's ProLongwear Concealer. This is like my typical full coverage face routine because I stay wanting full coverage. I usually use about like 1.5 to 2 squirts of this. Now I am setting my concealer with a loose powder. Then I'm going to sweep the excess away with this large powder brush by Sigma, which I have been using consistently lately. Now for that contour, never leave home without your contour, okay? I'm using Motive's Color Perfection Quad. So first I'm just going to apply it where I want it with a synthetic brush. Another brush I've been using consistently is this Sigma Chisel and Trim Contour. I've been sleeping on the Sigma brushes, like, I'm not even gonna lie. They're pretty bomb. And like I said before, when you do a cream contour, you do not want to be heavy-handed with the brush, because if you move the product around, you're gonna have like bald contour spots. Like, you have to be really soft and just really swift. Sometimes if I get too heavy with the nose contour, after I blend out the cream, get my beauty blender on the side that I applied the yellow powder, and I'll just go over the line so they're not so harsh. With this, I just kind of blend on the, not really more so the middle, but like the outside of the contour area to make it blend kind of seamlessly into the highlight. You can use your beauty blender or a brush or whatever you need to do just to make sure that contour is blended. And you guys should all know by now, they have a very, very inexpensive version of these brushes on, like, what is it, Amazon. This one is from Iconic London. I don't know how much it is, but I think you can get a whole set for like, what, $35? Now I'm going to get my Mercier powder, translucent powder, and I'm going to go over all the areas that I highlighted and underneath my contour, so that it can be popping. You know what I'm saying? And 10 times out of 10, I usually never let this bake on my face. I just put it there and then brush it away with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. Because if you leave it there too long and you have a deeper complexion, especially, it will give you a white cast. So you gotta kind of just put that on and sweep it off. I'm gonna stress how important I think it is, especially if you have a deeper skin tone, to dust it away with some kind of powder, whether it's a loose skin tone powder or a pressed skin tone powder or mineralized skin tone powder. Like, that's gonna help blend your highlight and your contour and everything all in together, so that you're not super white underneath your eyes and super dark contour. Like, it just helps things blend into each other flawlessly, darling. Now for my blush, I'm using Tigerlily from Becca Cosmetics, and this brush is a powder blush brush, also by Sigma. Ain't that pretty, y'all? This is gonna be bomb in the summer, watch. Like, it's hella ugly outside today, but if the sun was out and I would walk outside, they'd be like, girl, this blush is bomb. Like, I rarely tell y'all, oh, you need to get that. You need to get that Tigerlily. Like, it's bomb. You don't even need a highlighter. But of course, I'm gonna wear a highlighter too. I pretty much have been using the same 2 highlighters like almost every day of my life. From Gerard Cosmetics, I use Dorothy and Lucy. Sometimes I use them both by themselves, but whenever I want to be like overboard and do too much, I use both of them together. So I usually use Dorothy first because it's more bronzy, and both of them are broke, so I just have to like tap around the outside that it's filled at. And then I go over it with some Lucy. I usually put on hella of both of these, like hella. But I'm being nice and modest today. I'm sure. This brush, by the way, is Anastasia Beverly Hills A23. So the goal is to have your cheeks look like light bulbs, and I think I've achieved that. So that's it for the face beat and the brows. I'm about to try to figure out what I'm about to put in my eyes because I haven't figured that part out yet. So yeah, I'll be back. So this is what I came up with. I wanted to wear a red lip because I just opened some lipsticks from Jouer. I think I said that right. And I swatched it on my arm and I was like, yes, I want that on my lips right now. So I swatched 2 little cream colors from ColourPop. You see right here, here. They're kind of wiped off by now, but anyways, that's how I kind of coordinated with my eyes and my lips. Really simple and quick, just like I like it. So let me show you how I did it. First, I primed my lid with Urban Decay's eyeshadow primer. This is their original shade. I only use 2 transition shades in my crease, which is usually what I do when I'm trying to do something quick. The more colors you transition with, the more gradient and probably blended out it'll look. But you know, you can get away with 2. Both shades came from my Modus Maven's Demure palette. I use Lush Lights Out. I'm using Sigma's blending brush to blend the first color Lush right above the crease area. And then as you can see, it's kind of choppy right here underneath my brow, and since I don't use a highlighting shade under my brow, I'm just going to get a clean brush and smooth that out. Just want to kind of erase that harsh line so that it blends. Now I'm going to go into Lights Out, and I'm going to use Morphe's, one of their small tapered brushes, and I'm going to gradually build into the outer V of my eye. After I kind of got it where I wanted it to be in the outer parts, I tapped into both Blush and Lights Out to kind of mix them together and get like a nice in-between color. Now I'm going to go back with the brush I used to apply Lush and kind of soften up the dark brown a little bit. I didn't want it to be super dark, so I'm just kind of diffusing it a little bit. Brush to smooth it out. The lid color of the day is Telepathy. No, it's Telepathy. I'm not deliberate. Telepathy by ColourPop, one of their super shock shadows. And as you guys probably know, if you've used these before, they're better to apply with your fingers. So I try to apply as much as I can with my finger, but you know, I've got nails. So I usually just use a synthetic brush to get in the inner corners. Before I blend out the crease, I'm just going to add it to my lower lash line. Okay, now I'm going to clean up that crease by going back in with Lush and Lights Out in the same brushes and just kind of going back and forth in between the brushes until it is as blended as I got time for. Okay, time for the eyeliner. I'm going to use LA Girl's Very Black Gel Pencil as I normally do and line my waterline, and then I'm going to go back to my Old Faithful gel liner pot to do my wing liner. For my lashes, I use Huda Beauty Claudia lashes. These are stacked, actually. It's not one pair, it's 2 pair. I stacked on top of each other. Now I got a little messy with my lash glue. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like above my liner. So now I'm going to clean it up with some liquid liner. Every time I rush, I'm hella sloppy. Like, get your life. Finally, the mascara. I'm going to add some Too Faced Better Than Sex on my bottom lashes. On my red lipsticks, I always usually pair it with the Ellarie liner by ColourPop. I decided to go with this new color I got from Jouer. It is called Fraise BonBon. And boom, besides the hair and these clothes, we are popping. You're too slow. Now I would front and go put on some real clothes and look 100% presentable, but I don't have time to front right now. Like, I don't feel like changing. I'm about to go to Chipotle and then go sit on my couch and watch TiVo. So this will do. If you guys enjoyed this tutorial, please go ahead and give me a like and maybe a share and maybe a subscribe, you know, that would be cool. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the continued support of me and YOSHIDOLL. And until next time, mwah.